Kate. I'm from WotSeries. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for your work on the show and for bringing the character of Galad to life for us. And I hope you've enjoyed it. We have. Um, can you tell us a little bit about how you came to that role and like what your audition process was like? We always wonder, how'd you hear about the show or if you knew about Wheel of Time before you were cast?
hmm Yeah, so I hadn't heard of Wheel of Time before, and I got an audition through for a show that was not called Wheel of Time. It was definitely using a code name,
Hmm.
but my agent managed to find out what it was for. Wheel of Time is so big that everyone kind of knew what it was,
Right.
and so my agent sent me. It was called, I don't know, the water of the well, or I don't know, something stupid, and we worked out that it was Wheel of Time. We I couldn't actually work out who the characters were, because they were using code names for the characters as well. But um, what I didn't realize was that I was kind of reading for both brothers. So
Oh,
I read the script, and I do this with quite a lot of characters where I'll kind of interpret it one way and then interpret it another way as well. And I guess one of those ways was like slightly more kind of stoic and a little bit more I don't want to say emotionless, but very Galad in nature.
right.
And I guess they saw enough to then do an interview and um, a second audition, and then the final step was we did a chemistry read with Kira and Luke. So that was good. Everything seemed to go well. 2 hours after the chemistry read, they offered me the role, and they told me, "Yep, it is Wheel of Time, and you're playing a character called Galad, and you're flying out to Prague in 2 weeks." So
That's
I just
exciting.
dove headfirst into learning as much as I could. And originally, I was thinking, "Oh, it's a book series. I'll just read the books on the flight over." And I was,
No.
when I found out there was 1,019 books, I was like, okay, I'm not going to be able to read it all in time.
Yeah.
And
They're all above
so,
my head and that's missing two of them. So that's
oh God,
yeah.
yeah. So I told a few friends, and a few friends fortunately had read the books. They filled me in on some information, and then there's so much content online where you can download as much as possible about a character,
Hmm.
and there's opinions, and there's you know backstories and stuff that you might not even see in the show. So that was really good. I dove into that as fast as possible and flew to Prague 2 or 3 weeks later and started training in stunts. And then a few weeks after that, we started filming the show. So it was a very fast turnover. But I think that by the time we'd started filming, I was quite locked in terms of who I thought Galad was, and what I could bring to it. And we pulled some things out of the script that Rafe had given us that we could add to make the character as kind of fun as possible.
He's a little bit more fun than we anticipated as readers. Um, but I've had a really great time. You give off that big brother energy very well, so good job. Um,
I'm a big brother in real life, so hopefully
oh, see,
that
I think there you
that came
go.
across.
So the show that Amazon announced you as both Galad Trikand and as you're credited as a Damodred, and I know the answer in the books, but what insight could you give us as viewers about his like family connections and what kind of backstory maybe you've gotten that the viewers haven't seen?
So as far as I'm aware,
Hmm.
um, obviously the Trakan name comes from our queen. However, she was not queen when I was born, and
Right.
so I got the name of the man she was married to, which is Damon Dog. Although he is not my biological father, is that correct? I drew a
Okay.
family tree because I was trying to work out how I was related to Rand, and the way that I remember it is that we are related through marriage as opposed to.
Now your blood half related to Rand,
Okay,
and you're half related
okay,
to Elaine, but Rand and Elaine aren't related, which is the
okay,
important thing
okay.
maybe later.
Yeah, I remember looking it up during the filming of it, and drawing like a little family tree. But yeah, we filmed it 2 years ago, and
Oh wow, yeah.
I watched season two, but that didn't obviously have us in it. So it's like I'm trying to now remember back. But yeah, So I mean, I would love to see how they're going to connect all of that within the
Hmm.
series, or if they're going to do that at all.
Right.
Because right now it obviously looks like they're just kind of focusing on brothers as they are, you know, they're main brothers.
Right.
It's
So
not
actually,
really good, but
right. Well, actually, that was my question. If we get more seasons, do you have any hopes for Galad's arc? Should we anticipate him wearing more white? I don't know if that means anything to you or not yet, but
it does, and I mean, I think it's inevitably coming. I think what would be really cool is if we could see. I would love to see him maybe torn over something and then actually really seeing how he processes the information and actually why he makes the decisions that he makes. Because I think right now he's very stubbornly sure of what he believes, and I would love to see him challenged and then actually have to give answers to to why he believes what he will eventually believe, and then how that will affect his relationship with his current family and his potential extended family if we do get to see him with anyone else together. Um, so yeah, we'll see. I'd love to dive into that. I'd love to continue the kind of the playfully annoying without really knowing relationship that he has with his brother and sister, and yeah, we'll see. There's also like a cheekiness to him, like the way that he was when he was fighting, he was kind of looking at the girls.
mhm.
And there's obviously the scene where Matt's having a meltdown because next door the brothers are up to something
I think the
crazy.
fans also had a slight meltdown. We were like, "What is happening?" I mean, it works. It works really well, and yeah, I think we were all mad in that moment.
Yeah. What's going on? So I'd love to see that side of him as well because it means that maybe there's room for him to grow into what he will eventually become. And
Right.
maybe right now he isn't quite as, stubborn and dead set. Maybe he's got some exploration to do. And so if I could get to play any part in that and taking him on that journey, I would love that, regardless of where he ends up and how much white he ends up wearing.
Right, right. Well, we actually got a chance to talk to both of the brothers today. And so we asked Luke these questions. So I'd like to ask you a few rapid fire. Which brother, question, just four of them. So which brother would drink the most with Elaine?
Ooh, the lane, I think most often probably Gowan. I think most volume when he would occasionally join would be Galad.
Okay, so which would get in the most trouble with Elida?
Probably Galad because Gowan would be able to talk his way out of it, I guess. Charm his
Um,
way out of it with a
yes,
smile and
I
a
think
flick of
so.
the hair.
I wish I had that hair. So which of the brothers is a better swordsman?
So I originally thought Galad, but I think they felt quite evenly matched when we had our little fight. It was a training fight in the yard. But I think maybe pushing forward, I think Galad will probably take his sword training more serious.
Oh, okay. Which is more popular with the ladies? Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, no, yeah, I think yeah, we'll see. More popular with the ladies. Oh, I mean Galad, of course.
Well, yeah, I think that's on the page.
I
And I think I
don't
have
know.
just, yeah, I think I have time for like a 30-second and then I'll have to let you go. But do you have any favorite moments of preparing for that iconic fight scene between the brothers? The one in front of the novices is great, but our favorite as readers is the one with Matt and the quarterstaff. Can you share anything about that before we go?
Yeah, so I think definitely training for the a full month before we actually filmed it, and then there's two moments that highlight that really specially in my head, and one of them is the first time we got through it all together, so without any of the stunt guys who taught us.
Hmm.
It was amazing. They took us from like not really having trained with each other or with those weapons before to doing a full fight scene. So the first time Luke, Matt, and I got through the whole thing full speed
Hmm.
in the training room was amazing, and we're all high fiving afterwards, like that was great, well done. And then I think one of the final takes on the day when we realized that this whole thing coming to an end after 5 weeks of training, it really
Hmm.
felt special. It felt like we'd been through it actually. It felt like
Right.
we'd had a fight, but instead of us fighting, it was like it was, bonding. And it
Right.
was really sweet that we'd all put in this work for it to pay off in what we thought was a really cool way. I thought it was lit beautifully. It was kind of dark and moody, and I thought that Donald clearly had put in loads of effort to work out how to use that
Hmm.
quarterstaff, and yeah, it was a really proud moment where I think we realized that we'd put the work in and done something really cool.
You did. It was a beautiful scene. So thank you so much for your work. I hope to see you back in future seasons. And yeah, thanks for chatting with me.
Fingers crossed.